What's going on, everybody? LK here, back at it again with another video. I took a little time off from making videos, a few days to get some ideas, etc. And actually this week, I will be sharing my personal opinion on character strengths in the game. An actual tier list. We hit a sub goal when? Like last week, something like that. So I'm going to stream that and then post it here. But to get ready for that, I wanted to talk about how do you actually go about picking characters. So this is actually kind of different from picking teams, and I don't want to just stay in the confines of Dragon Ball. I want to talk about all fighting games. For some of you, Dragon Ball is just another fighting game you're playing, you've been playing for a while. For others of you, this is your first fighting game, so hopefully this will help you in the future, whatever. Let's just get into it. Okay. So rule number one, and this applies extra to Dragon Ball because it is a licensed fighting game, aka it's based off something that exists. We all know Dragon Ball. You want to pick someone you think is cool, pick your favorite character from the show, or pick someone you would hug. Those are my big three. Those are my aesthetic choices, right? So if it's not a licensed fighting game, you're thinking about who's cool, who do you like, who, as I jokingly would say, who would you hug? If it's from a license like Dragon Ball, there's a Persona fighter as well. There's a Power Rangers fighting game out right now, right? Then picking someone from the show that you like is very easy, and you should start there first. Playing something that you like from the outside will give you a lot of motivation to keep going, even when you get sad or angry or whatever. So that's a great place to start. Some people would say picking someone you would hug actually means something else. Don't listen to them. It's a good guideline if you're talking about appearances. So for example, in this game, in Dragon Ball, my favorite character is Trunks. The first team I really went hard on with was a team with Trunks. It's actually this team right here. Team games are a little bit different. You don't have to have your whole team be characters you like, but as long as you have like one of them, that's fine, right? Just one is fine. And of course, in a 1v1 fighter, you just pick the one and you just go. Cool. Pretty easy. Let's talk about rule number two. So rule number two is go for a familiar archetype. So this is kind of hard in Dragon Ball because everyone is kind of similar. They don't play the same, but like the base of the characters are all kind of similar. And even in the cases where they are a different type of character, like for example, most people would say that Frieza is a zoner, but he's also pretty aggressive once he gets in it. And also this game doesn't have like I won't say every type, like that's kind of weird. What do you mean every type? But this game doesn't have a ton of types of characters available. Like for example, let's say you like summoning characters. So yeah, you have Ginyu. Yeah, I guess you can count Videl as a summoner if you really feel like it. Some people don't even think she's on the character select screen, so your options are kind of limited, right? If you play puppet characters, you pretty much are screwed. There are no puppet characters in this game. Maybe someone would be like, oh, like Android 18 is a puppet character, but that is a super stretch. I don't think any of us are playing that, right? You have your rushdown characters, you have your zoners-ish, like you have some characters who fulfill a niche, like Hit fulfills a niche for people, like Hit, Jiren, Janemba, they all have counters. There's stuff around, but generally for team games you want to go to try to build a style you're familiar with. For 1v1, you can actually be like, well, I play zoners in these games, or even if you want to step back even more, I like running away, what type of character should I play? Then someone would tell you the zoners of the game, and then okay. If you played a couple of fighting games already, then this is way easier because you could just be like, who's the puppet character? Who's the summoner? Who's the zoner? Is there a fast grappler? There's a bunch of things you could do. Staying in your lane, picking the same type of character in every game. If it's something you just enjoy, just do it. And it's definitely a way to go. I don't do it personally, generally, despite what people say. Oh, well, okay, you're a set player. But I played a few different types of characters, so hopefully picking a familiar archetype will work for you. Now, rule number three is something I really don't like when people do by default. So I went through, pick someone you think is cool or who you like or who you would hug, or pick someone who has a familiar archetype. But this third thing, usually people tell people, other people, to do this by default, and I actually hate when people do that. Rule number 3 is pick a fundamental or easy or basic character of the game. Right. Why do I put this as number 3 and not number 1? There are a lot of people who, this comes up a ton in Guilty Gear. People in Dragon Ball don't actually do this very much. Who, let's say you're going to play Guilty Gear or Street Fighter or something for the first time, right? A lot of fighting games have their Ryu, Ken archetypes there. Sol, Kai, Ragna, Jin, like, etc, etc, etc. You watching, you might think Guy in Street Fighter is cool. You might think Chip or Slayer is cool in Guilty Gear. You might think Bang is cool in BlazBlue, and you want to play that character, aka rule number 1, because they look cool. But your friend or someone on the internet or whoever will sit there and be like, well, Guy, he has like this flip move, and it's not so easy to learn how to use him, or like Chip, you need to learn all these special system mechanics just to play him. Bang has really hard combos and all this seal system and special movement and overdrive they have to learn. Listen, take a couple months, play Ryu or Ken or Sol or Kai or Ragna or Jin, learn the basics of the game, and then play the character you want. But think about this, if you do that, you don't like Ryu. Who likes Ryu? A couple people like Ryu, I'm sorry. There are people who like Ryu. Most people don't like Ryu, though. Ryu is just a dude with a headband. He throws fireballs and does DPs. That's not cool. A lot of people don't think that's cool. People think El Fuerte is cool. I don't know why, but people think El Fuerte is cool. People think, like, Relius is cool. People think Slayer is cool. You will have way more motivation if you pick a character you like or think is cool or whatever, than if you pick the simple character who throws fireballs and DPs and then learn the character you actually want to play like 3 months down the line. But I'm not saying don't do that, because if you can't find someone you like for whatever reason, and you don't have a type of character you like to play, then picking a fundamental or basic character is a good backup plan. It should be your second backup plan. It shouldn't even be your first backup plan. At the very least, especially if you played maybe like one other fighting game or no fighting games, you really are just learning the basics of fighting games. I think it's more important to learn the basics of your character and fighting games at the same time, but like I said, if you can't find anything else to do, those characters are easy to play, will teach you everything. They're usually not bad, so you don't have to worry about getting steamrolled by some top tier monster or whatever, and maybe it'll be fun. I don't know. And step number 4, rule number 4, step number 4, whatever we're calling it, if you've tried picking a character you think is cool, or you would hug, or your favorite character from the show or game, and that didn't work. If you tried picking the type of character, like a zoner because you always play zoners, a grappler because you always play grapplers, and that doesn't work. If you look at the Ryu, Ken equivalents of the game, and you're not feeling that, and you still want to play the game for whatever reason after saying no to these 3 things, the fourth and final thing you could do is to say, screw it, it's time to pick a top tier, save yourself a headache, just pick the best character of the game, and then just go and play the game, and don't waste your time. The second part of rule number 4 is, if for whatever reason you're playing and you're switching characters a lot, this might sound familiar, but if you're switching characters a lot, for whatever reason, if, I don't have a guideline for this for team games yet, because this is my first one, but generally, like, if you're talking about 1v1 fighter, if you've tried like 3 characters already, maybe 4, and you still can't settle on one, just pick top tier, and save yourself a headache, and just go into the world and show them that nothing was good enough for you, so you pick this top tier. Okay, pretty simple. Pretty simple. If you have any questions, somehow have any questions about this, I think it's pretty straightforward. Leave it in the comments, like and subscribe if you feel like it, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.